Hello, beloved. I thank you so much for your time and I thank you for joining me on the Prophetic Vessel Show. This will be your message from God, Ra, Allah, Source, the Divine. I'm grateful for your time. To those who are keen or interested in becoming members of my Patreon, on my Patreon, I offer weekly sign readings for $10 per month based on love as well as spiritual path. I also offer on my Patreon personal readings. For $50 per month, you get a personal reading from me every month based on love, spiritual path, as well as career and finances. You'll find the link to my Patreon listed down in my description box below. You can also join my Patreon by typing what is on the screen via Google. Search it and it'll lead you to my Patreon website. Without further ado, let us tap in and find out, why were you spiritually led here? What is here for you, beloved? Why did you resonate with the title? And why did your own YouTube algorithm present you with this message? Let us tap in and talk to God, okay? Okay, I'm channeling, it's coming through as a prophetic vision and also a clairaudient message as well. It's like, there's somebody that's like panting, you know what I'm saying, and pacing back and forth while panting. No, and like this person is like, no, she's not gonna win this time. He's not gonna win this time. She's not gonna win. He's not gonna. Like someone is like snapping somewhere, losing their mind somewhere here. At the thought of you being, it's like at the thought of you, period. He's not gonna, like, oh my God. What is going on? Okay, this message here. Yeah, somebody snapping, going crazy somewhere, man. Somebody's losing their mind somewhere. Let's see what this energy is about. We have the Three of Cups. We have the King of Pentacles. So we have Pisces, we have Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. I'm equal not to take these. So there's somebody that they've begun to lose themselves, all right? Like, this is definitely an energy of somebody that has begun to lose themselves completely. Okay? This person has lost themselves in the sense that they have no self-control, all right? They have no control over their own mind, their own heart, their own spirit. It's just somebody is out here losing it. This person, right? This is an enemy that saw the potential in your identity. They saw your greatness before you even saw it in yourself. This is somebody that has always seen who you are, but never wanted you to see it or never wanted you to get to that point where you are sitting in your greatness. So this enemy has reached the point in their life that it's no longer just about not wanting to see your potential or not wanting you to see it or not wanting to see your greatness or not wanting you to sit in it. It's like it's gotten to the point where you are one with your greatness. It's no longer potential. It's no longer, oh, it could be like this. It is that. There are some embodiments that you've taken form in. It's like you've ascended and you've evolved and you are now a specific somebody. And this is the least of this person's problems. Because what I'm seeing here is like the pace, it's like can you just imagine what could possibly put someone in that state of being? Oh, now they're pacing back. No. Like somebody, oh my God. We have the Eight of Wands. We have Sagittarius energy. It's like this person here, they live a life of their own. Like, it's like the reality, the dimension that they're in, it's like they're so out of touch. They're so out of it. There's a portal they opened. And now they've entered that portal and they want out. They want out. They no longer want to be in that position. They want out. It's like you literally have somebody that is deranged, man. This person is lucid and deranged. It's like in the off. It's like this person has a pattern of behavioral issues. In the morning, with regards to you, in the morning, they wake up and they always convince themselves that this is going to be a good day or a better day, or this day is not going to be like yesterday. Okay, cool, no problem. They wake up and they start their day, and then as soon as this person lifts up their device or just ponders or thinks about something, it just goes to you. Like, it's like you are someone's first thought. You're someone's first thought. And the minute it goes from, oh, it's going to be a good day, this day is going to be better than yesterday, to being catatonic. It's like being catatonic is like this, you guys. Like, it's like you're so out of it that like you are not conscious of yourself or anything around you. It's just like you are like someone could be dying, but like you wouldn't even be conscious. You'd just be like, what is going on? So from affirmative positivity in the morning to being catatonic and it being a constant theme until the afternoon. It's like a routine, a pattern of behavioral issues that they're having. Somebody's not okay here. Somebody's not in the right state of being. They stay in this catatonia for hours, like could be 3 hours, sometimes it's 2 hours. They stay in it. And once they snap out of it, this person just goes into a depressive episode and they just bawl their eyes out. Like somebody just be crying. Then the afternoon hits. Don't forget, this person has a life to live. They have things to do. They have a life. So that catches up to them where they have to paddle everything up and just have to push through. And when that happens, they try for as long as possible. They know that, okay, when I come back home, I'm going to do a lot more than just cry. This is somebody that definitely self-harms here. It's either they hit themselves in terms of like crashing into things, like they throw themselves into a wall, or you know what I'm saying, or they cut themselves here. But this is a form of self-harm, and it takes place in the nighttime. This person only does this at night. So we've established this pattern of routine of behavioral issues from the morning of positive affirmativeness, and then catatonic behavior, and then the depressive episode, and then they have to snap out of it because they have a life, and then they gotta, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna live the life. Then when they come back and they're on their own, they in they bed, they gotta go to sleep. They just, it's them and they demons. This person just be doing the utmost harm on themselves. And this is repetitive here. We have the hangman, we have double Pisces energy. This is definitely a repetitive cycle that someone is stuck in here. Okay? It's not something that they do like, oh, frequently. This is like every day. Someone has a problem here. It's like this person does things to make themselves feel numb or feel better. Sometimes they want to feel better. Sometimes they want to just numb everything and not feel at all. And whatever it is that they indulge in, or whatever it is that they choose to distract themselves with, it does so for a certain amount of time. And then they have to snap back into the reality of things, that they have a problem here. They have a certain pattern of behavioral issues that they need to face, but they can't, because there is a deeper root cause of this. This is not like, oh, they so mad, they just, and no, there's a root cause. This person's energy, there's so many layers to why they're doing this. There's so many things that have led to this. There's so much. I'm getting, this is bigger than you. I just heard like those type of screams that are like agonizing. You know, it's like, like. And I'm hearing dripping, you know, like when water is dripping, but I'm seeing blood in my prophetic vision here. You know, in my third eye, I'm seeing blood drip. And I'm seeing this person like it's like they in this wallow energy, right? Somebody's in such a dark place in themselves and their life, that like it's like when in the morning they wash their face. Remember, they wake up with that positive affirmative self, and then the minute a thought of you comes to mind, or they experience something of you, which is frequent because you were the first thought. Like, can you just think for a second? It's like from a high to a low. They get catatonic, and they just and they're just out of it. For hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. It varies, sometimes 1.5. It depends, right? Because this person has a life. They can't afford to do certain things, because there's this that's due, there's that they gotta handle, there's that person coming over, there's just life happening. We have the Page of Wands reversed, all right? Um, we have double Sagittarius energy, we have Aries energy, and then we have Leo energy here. So I'm being asked to, it's like I'm being called to go back to like the things that this person does, either to numb themselves and not feel anything completely because they just can't take it, or sometimes this person they want to feel better, like they want to convince themselves like, oh, I'm gonna be okay, everything will be fine, this and that, and they do everything to just feed into that, right? It's like all these things that this person does is just temporary highs. But the lows are not temporary. The lows are very chronic. All right. The lows are very, very chronic. It's like it's the lows that are bigger than the highs. The highs can be just for that moment, but then when the low hits, it really hits like somebody is not okay here. And my throat keeps wanting to close up. I feel like there's something in my throat. This person, whatever this root cause is, has to do with their throat chakra, which is a certain truth that didn't come out, or certain truths here that they've withheld or turned into a lie. A truth about themselves with regards to you. It's like, you know how people, it's crazy. You know how people like, you do something for long enough, you start to convince yourself that you know what you're doing, or you do something for long enough and you start to think that you really are that. And it's just one with your identity. Like this person has lied to themselves with regards to you for such a long time, lied about you for such a long time that they've become one with that based on their identity. But what's eating at them now, and my throat chakra specifically acting up, so it's something that these lies is now something that they feel like they can't live with, because the truth contradicts the lies to the T. The truth is nothing like the lies. The truth is literally the opposite of what the lies are. The lies this person told, whether they tell themselves or others. We have the Five of Swords, all right? We have Aquarius energy here. This person, right? This is somebody that's not free, okay? This is somebody that is not free. They mind ain't free. They heart ain't free. They spirit ain't free. An analogy based on that freedom, right? An analogy, a reference point, a case study, an example would be this. Somebody that is stuck in a traumatic cycle where they keep experiencing life and thinking about something traumatic that happened, and they just can't stop. No matter where they are at in life, no matter how good their life gets, they're just stuck in this trauma. That represents, lack of freedom. They're not free. They mind ain't free. They heart ain't free. They spirit ain't free. They trapped in something, which in this analogy, reference point, case study, example is trauma, right? No matter what life exists outside of that, the common theme, the constant theme, the common denominator is that entrapment, that lack of freedom within that trauma. Coming back to the generalization of this message here, it was easy for this person to convince themselves whatever they've convinced themselves about you, because the truth was far more sinister. Like the truth was something that they just couldn't face or acknowledge or take accountability of. They just couldn't. We have the Four of Cups and the Justice reversed here. This person, when they get it, it's so sad. When they get into this catatonic state of being, right? Sometimes they snap. When they snap back into reality, they find themselves in their own urine or feces, because they were that out of it. Now they have to clean it up and wash these sheets, or do all these things. Like, this is just crazy. What is the root cause? We have the High Priestess and then the Nine of Cups here. We have Scorpio energy. We have a Libra. And double Aries energy. So the root cause, we have the High Priestess, the High Priestess being crowned by the Nine of Cups, right? This is definitely somebody here, and I don't want to use this. I want to say this correctly. I want the root cause to be established in a very, very precise manner, right? And I want it to be correct. So I'm being drawn back to my throat chakra, right? Based on the lie, right? This person suppressed deep. It's like, oh my God, like deep feelings for you. And it's not based on, it's like these are feelings of, I wish you and I were this close. So this is definitely somebody that wanted to be like a sister to you or a brother to you. This is somebody that wanted to share life with you, like let's go on a little picnic, or let's go on a car ride. This is somebody that they had this fantasy that was linked to these deep suppressed, buried emotions, hidden emotions here. To the point where over time, this person is somebody that is truly someone that doesn't believe in themselves. They don't see themselves as worthy of anything. They don't see themselves as valuable. So them having this desire to have what they wanted to have with you is something that they suppressed due to that. They didn't think it was possible. Fast forward, time moves, right? Now this person is left to sort of heal from something that they never gave a chance to. And on top of that, what I'm getting is like back to the behavioral issues, right? The pattern that they have going on, you being their first thought and whatnot, it's like trauma and suppression of emotions, suppression of everything. Things impact people differently, you guys. You have someone that experienced trauma and they never looked back, they never addressed it, they just took life on a high note, and then when they get to that point of thinking that they're at their peak, they crash. That's an analogy, a reference point, a case study, an example. Let's look at multiple analogies, reference points, case study examples, right? Somebody had something so traumatic happen to them at a very tender age, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna close this chapter. I'm never even gonna look back. I'm not gonna. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even. And they're not doing it in a way of like I'm healed from this. They're doing it in a way that they're suppressing it, and they just took life. They just live life, and now they just taking off on a high note, forgetting that there's the root cause that will always live inside of them, and it grows and it grows, and when it gets to the point where it can no longer be suppressed, it sprouts because now it has grown and it bears the fruit. Now it's a tree. It's a whole damn tree. And now there's so many branches. There's this thing that they let go. There's that they kept suppressed. They linked to the very same root cause that, if was addressed from the get-go, could have had a different impact. I hear a lot of crying, unwanted crying. This person crying and they don't want to cry. Another analogy, another reference point, another case study, another example would be like somebody, and it's based on this. This is like a more personal relation to this, where take this analogy, this reference point, this case study, this example, right? Of like, let's take for instance, somebody sees another person, and as soon as they see that person, their soul recognizes them. That's deep. Their soul recognizes them. Like, damn, I feel like you and I could be of one soul tribe. I feel like you and I could really be inseparable, an unbreakable bond. I love you, and I don't even know why my soul connects to you the way it does, and it's leading me to the point of I just love you, right? And let's say the person that loves that person views that person that they love in a certain way, and the more they view them the way they view them, it's like they become pessimistic, like, nah, screw that. Actually, I'm tweaking, I'm tripping, it's not real, I'm being delusional, let me just whatever, and they just let it go. But they never really let it go because it will always exist within them. The soul will always feel connected to the other. The soul will always connect, y'all. So coming back to the generalization of this message here, let's go another round of this energy. What creates lack of freedom in that regard is the fact that that never was spoken and addressed. That person don't know that you connect with their soul like that. That person don't know you view them as part of your soul tribe. This is what's happening here. Somebody loved you at first glance. This could be anyhow they encountered you. Somebody they loved you, your energy, your you, like just you, right? And they never expressed that, to the point where life took course in a certain way that led this person in a position where this person, the way you know them, is the opposite of what they actually feel for you and what is actually their true self when it comes to you. Somebody did something, acted a certain way, spoke about you in certain ways that it contradicts completely what you mean to them here, who you really are to them, and what they feel for you, what they really think about you. So It's a lie. Another, it's like this person lied to themselves, lied to others, and then built on top of that lie. And when it came to, when now it was time for you to see the lie, that's all there was to it. Because the truth had never been expressed or portrayed or shown. It was never, it was always inside. I don't know if you guys are hearing me, but this is really deep here. Let's see what's going. Why do these cards keep falling like this? We got the Four of Pentacles here. We got the Ten of Swords, and then we got the Seven of Cups, right? Double Gemini energy here. Double Capricorn as well. So here's what I'm seeing, right? When this person here, the minute they saw you and encountered you, there was something that formed its own life inside of them. That's the thing about life, right? It's like you can never ignore what's inside because it lives in its own breath. Like your love for another person, your love for this show, your love for this food, your love for that music. You can't help it. It's just it lives inside of you in its own way. And that's what I'm saying. When this person experienced you, whatever lived inside of them lived on. It never died until it sprouted. But because it sprouted in its in its opposite form, it portrayed a completely different narrative. Like it's like almost mind-blowing. Like one last analogy or not, I don't know, an analogy, a reference point, a case study, an example would be this, right? Let's say somebody gets an opportunity to be in another person's presence. And let's say whoever's presence they're going to be in is somebody they already know. They've always loved this person. They've always wanted to be around this person. And they've always wanted to experience this person, right? It's like, damn, I'm so happy I get to be around this person and experience this person and whatnot, right? And then it gets to the point where that person, because of their own pessimism, insecurities, negativity, and every lie that they try to convince themselves of, they start to formulate an understanding of their experience to be this. In order for this person to like me, or in order for this person to not, look at me in a certain way, let me change who I am. And then they start to act different, going into the experience of the other person, in the presence of this other person. They're not experiencing the real individual. They're experiencing the prepared self of who that individual is. Whoever they've prepped themselves to be for the experience, for the presence of that other person. And what if that other person would have fallen much more in love with the actual person? Or what if that actual person in that presence, right, would have appreciated it more, would have connected more to the version of themselves that they were in their true self, not the version of themselves that was created. I don't know if you're hearing me, but coming back to the generalization of this message here, somebody created a false narrative, a false truth, a false version of themselves to portray in a certain situation that had to do with you. And in that circumstance, this person here blew the lid, because now it's like something can't be undone here. You know them to be a specific type of way, and you are set in that. Not because that's what you convinced yourself of, or that's what you're telling yourself, but because that is what you experienced of this person. It's like somebody lied to you about who they were, they lied to others, they lied to themselves, and it was for a certain reason, but now that reason is non-existent, because the only thing that exists is the truth. There's only a certain point that you can live up to a lie. And so the lie requires much more from you than you can give. then you're limited again, like our freedom. So, beloved, this message, please take it how it resonates. There's somebody here suffering, okay? Somebody's just snapping, losing it somewhere because they feel like they missed an opportunity to be in your presence in the way that they would have loved to be in your presence. They don't want this version of themselves that you know. They don't want you to see them like this. It was never what they wanted. And however way it happened, now that's what exists. Mm. I'm being called to end this message here. This was your message from God, Ra, Allah, Source, the Divine. I'm grateful for your time and I thank you for joining me on the Prophetic Vessel Show. To those whom are keen or interested in becoming Patreon members, on my Patreon, I offer weekly sign readings for $10 per month based on love as well as spiritual path. I also offer on my Patreon personal readings for $50 per month. You get a personal reading from me every month based on love, spiritual path, as well as career and finances. You'll find the link to my Patreon listed down in my description box below. You can also join my Patreon by typing what is on the screen via Google. Search it and it'll lead you to my Patreon website. I thank you all for everything and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.